As Dr. King once said, intelligence plus character. That is the goal of true education. This year, once again, we have a class that has the intelligence and character to make a difference in our community and the world. How does one become an MLK scholar, you might ask? Well, at the end of the student's junior year, they submit a complete application packet, including an essay. The applications and essays are reviewed by the scholarship committee. Students are selected and invited for an interview by the scholarship committee. The committee selects the final candidates based on academic performance, citizenship, community service, and financial need. Our scholars selected this year have worked hard to distinguish themselves and have truly earned your support and admiration. In past years, we have surprised students in their homes, in the hallways, in classrooms, at schools, or they've even been called to the principal's office. And some of our principals take special delight in that, especially when these students are A students and they don't know why they're being called to the principal's office. They called only to find out that they've been selected to receive a $20,000 scholarship. Well, this year, we had a combination of visits to the principal's office, the classroom. We even went to the library, where it's supposed to be quiet. Filming all of this was Mr. Wilbur Glenn of General Dynamics Electric Boat. I mean, does he have a following here or what? Okay. Electric Boat. Thank you. Our first scholar this year, Ariannna Black, is a senior at the Marine Science Magnet High School. Her scholarship is sponsored by General Dynamics Electric Boat. The presenter tonight will be Mr. Jemiel Rose, Workforce Development and HR Specialist, accompanied by Ms. Kate Erickson, Director of Learn, and Dr. Nick Spira. But first, while they're coming up, let's take a look and introduce you to Ariannna. We met her.
My name is Ariannna Black, and I go to Marine Science Magnet High School. I love learning. It's sort of nerdy to say, but I just love learning and expanding my knowledge and learning about how the world works. When I found out, I was amazed. I didn't know what to think. I was just super excited to be there. I really was. The scholarship will help me fund my education and really help me go to one of my top schools, one of my favorite schools, and learn about technology. I would love to thank first my parents. Without them, I wouldn't be here. Also, my teachers, all the faculty at my school, they're just so amazing with their support and their love. They put me here in a position where I could get this scholarship, so thank you. Dr. King's teachings, he's taught me that I really need to stand up for myself, and not only for myself, but for other people who are in the same situation as I am. If he was alive today, I believe that Dr. King would be leading activism. He would be standing up for anyone who's facing racial injustice or injustice of any social kind. My favorite quote is, "I've decided to stick with love. Hatred is too great a burden to bear." That's my favorite quote because that's sort of what I like to live by. I don't have 1 ounce of hatred in my body for anyone. I love people and I can't help it. And I think that love is the way to world peace and to help other people. Hatred does nothing.
Good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Jemiel Rose, and I'm here representing Electric Boat. I want to shout out our table 36. And a special thank you to our Vice President of Human Resources, Aaliyah Spearman. She's here, representing our executive staff. So I got a chance to meet our student, Ariannna Black, and one of the things that was most compelling about her is that she's just wonderfully well-rounded. And, for young people, you don't see that very often. Maybe there's a student that's really good academically, but they don't do anything extracurricular. But for her, I mean, this young woman is doing everything. So just to touch on some of the things that she's doing, and I'll try to be brief as possible. Obviously, she's an A student, so she has a 4.0. She goes to the Marine Magnet High School. She's in the National Honor Society. She's an athlete. She's on the crew team. She does fencing. And she's also an avid CrossFitter. So I know she can do more burpees than anybody in here, right? Aside from that, she's also, works in the community. She's a camp counselor for Groton City Youth, and she works at her church in the toddler program, as an assistant in the toddler program. And that's just a few of the things that she's done, as well as being a big nerd. She's a video gamer. I'm an engineer, so, nerd power, so I appreciate that. Black nerds, our table full of engineers there, we all understand, right? So, but really to close this out, I just want to say, just talking with her briefly, I mean, she's an amazing young lady, and I'm going to turn the floor over to her.
N-I-G-G-E-R. This is what appeared on my screen. A joke said by my friend. In a cafeteria full of 80 students, I was alone. Although I wasn't the only person to hear her say it, I was the only one who felt it. Dr. King said that our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. So, even though everyone else in that cafeteria kept eating their pizza, even though I was bruised, and even though I was alone in that lunchroom, I found my strength. I found my voice in Dr. King's. 8th graders, you can live Dr. King's legacy, a legacy of compassion, of maturity, of standing up for not only yourselves, but for others. And you can be a Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. scholar. You can be the change that you want to see. I want to thank General Dynamics for bringing me a step closer to achieving my dreams. Through your faith in young people, in your empowering me, I can become Dr. Ariannna Black, the software engineer, and I can be the change that I want to see. Mom, Dad, will you please rise? Mom, you hold me upright even when it feels like that cafeteria is trying to knock me down. Dad, you taught me how to be independent, strong, but most of all, myself. Because of you and Mom, I am an MLK scholar. I love you both.
Our next scholar is Alan Dufort, senior at Northbury Academy, and his sponsor is Comcast. The presenter will be Robert Earley, Vice President of State Government Relations for Comcast, and they will be accompanied by Dr. David Klein, Superintendent of NFA, and Mr. Leo Butler, the diversity officer. Let's take a look and see what happened when we met with Alan.
My name is Alan Dufort, and I go to North Tree Academy. When I found out I won the scholarship, I was excited. I mean, they pulled me into my class and kind of lied about why I was in there, and just to see all the faces of all the people on the committee, the Martin Luther King committee, and they told me that I won. I was shocked. I was happy. It was one of the greatest feelings you could possibly feel. I'd like to thank foremost my parents. They've raised me to do this. They've inspired me through their life journey, to the things they've done, and they set a prime example for me to go forth, to achieve my dreams, to always persevere no matter what. I'd also like to thank my older siblings, Schneider and Junior. They've also been instrumental in my development as I've gotten older, and they've also inspired me as well, and everyone else in my family. I've also like to thank my teachers and my schools for always believing in me, showing me that the true value of education, how it can help people. The teachings of Dr. King have influenced my life by changing the ways that I think about certain things, about the way certain people act. Like, one thing he mentioned was a law, like a just law, is supposed to uplift human personality. It's supposed to help people, bring people together. And while unjust laws they don't do that. They do the opposite. They degrade human personality. They subjugate people. They pit people above one another. And things such as that changed how I've viewed the world, how we should act towards one another, what we should really be advocating for. My favorite Dr. King quote, it has to be, an unjust law is no law at all. And I like that phrase because often enough, people justify atrocities and wrong actions by saying it's legal, it's the law. And Dr. King, he addressed this by saying that an unjust law isn't a law. You can't justify a bad action because it's the law, because it's unjust, which doesn't make it a law in the first place. The law should be able to help people. It shouldn't be able to pit people down and to separate people.
I appreciate this opportunity to introduce you to this extraordinary young man. Martin Luther King had many gifts. One of them was the gift of narrative, to use words and stories to make a larger point. And to all you scholars, I love this night because I've met many of you and I've met many of you over the years. And when you meet us, you look us in the eye, you tell us your stories, you tell us who you are, what you've done, and where you're going. And know that that is an incredibly powerful gift that is going to take you far in life. No matter what happens tonight, never forget the ability to say who you are and what you've done and where you're going and tell your story your way is one of the best things you can do. And I know Andrea here has worked hard with you guys to give you some advice about speeches. And it's one of the best gifts that you can have. And to you 8th graders, please aspire to be one of these kids up here tonight who can tell us your story in 4 years. Alan, you are an amazing, amazing student. Alan has only seen A's his entire high school career. Nothing but an A on his report card. Because of that, he's a member of the National Honor Society, the National Science Honor Society, the debate, the diversity, the amateur radio and engineering clubs, the math team. He serves as a student advisory board on the student advisory board, participates in student outreach, AXO. He's the treasurer of the NAACP Youth Council, and he volunteers in Reading Buddies and as a Sabbath school teacher, but also last summer to go to Haiti to work with the poor and the sick. You're an amazing young man. It's our pleasure to be able to sponsor this scholarship. Alan?
Do I look white to you? In 8th grade, a classmate told me, "You're the whitest black kid I know. I was disappointed in myself for not being black enough. But I'm not white. I'm not white because I'm academically gifted. I'm not white because I'm not ghetto, because that's how they view black kids. Characteristics do not define race or ethnicity. This myth is built on racism, stereotypes, and a false sense of superiority. As time moved on, I gained the wisdom to regard such things as utter nonsense. 8th graders, do not let anyone label you by the color of your skin, whether you are black or white. I want to thank Comcast for helping me achieve my dream of becoming a software developer. Mom, Dad, will you please rise? Dad, thank you for always teaching me that God is my refuge and strength. Mom, thank you for always showing me through example that I need to persevere even when things become hard. You both are my role models. I look up to you and hope that one day I can be just like you. Mom, Dad, I love you both so much.
Thank you, Alan. Alan and I had to take a second look at that script to make sure that was Alan. He said, "Is that me?" And you'll see why later when we get to Alexander. Our next scholar tonight is Emma De La Rosa, a senior at Stonington High School. Her scholarship is sponsored by the Kitchings Family Foundation. The presenter tonight is Mr. Ken Kitchings, and they will be accompanied by Principal Mark Freeze. Let's take a look and introduce you to Emma.
I'm Emma De La Rose. I won the Martin Luther King Scholarship. I'm Emma De La Rosa and I go to Stonington High School. When I won this award, I was pretty shocked. I wasn't expecting it, but I'm really grateful that I did. What I like about school is that it gives me a chance to learn a lot, and I can pick what classes I really like to enjoy. Like right now, I'm in AP Government and AP English, which I really enjoy. I'm not as much of a math person, so I don't have to focus as much on that. So school's giving me a chance to expand my perspective. This scholarship will help me achieve my goal because it will allow me to have the resources to do what I want to do in life, which is spread knowledge with a communications degree, hopefully, in political science, which I find really important to promote justice. My favorite Dr. King quote would have to be, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere," and that's because I find it really important that people speak out on issues such as injustice, which is what I want to do in the future, hopefully. I would like to thank my parents. My dad helped me a lot with this, and my mom too, and my grandma. She helps me a lot with so much of this. The teachings of Dr. King have influenced my life a lot because he really promotes peace and education, which are things that I find really important in my life personally.
Good evening. Emma De La Rosa, daughter of Arnie and Marilla De La Rosa, is a senior. I think that's correct. At Stonington High School. Emma is a member of the French Honor and National Honor Societies, maintains the highest honor roll placement represented in Stonington High School at the National Student Leadership Conference in Washington, D.C., and the recipient of the University of Rochester's Frederick Douglass and Susan B. Anthony Award. That's a lot. That's a lot right there. But in the community, Emma is a student of piano. Yes! Music! I'm a music guy. I'm sorry, man. It's just music. For 11 years, has assisted in teaching children at the Musicians Co-op in Mystic and has performed with the Spanish American Cultural Organization Senior Center. Emma's school of choice includes Boston University, where she attends to study communication and political science. It is my honor, ladies and gentlemen, Emma De La Rosa.
I am Latina, loud and proud. My life has been vibrant, filled with Spanish sounds and smells. But I've not always been so confident in embracing my heritage. To be ashamed of quinceañeras, of dinners at my papi's house, and of my abuela's stories of life in Panama would be a disservice. A disservice to my grandparents who moved from farms and mountains to become doctors and teachers. Immigrants have shaped the nation and have blessed me with a life of opportunity and privilege. I will never know sacrifice as they did, but it is up to me to carry this legacy. I am Latina, loud and proud. Eighth graders, embrace your identity. Whoever you are, whoever you identify with, be loud and proud. I want to thank my sponsor, Kitchings Family Foundation, for helping me achieve my dreams of political science and communications, where I can provide a voice for those who need it the most. Mom, Dad, please rise. You have provided a life filled with color, compassion, and love. I am only who I am because of your support. Latina, loud, and proud. There are no other words except I love you.
Our next scholarship goes to Aaliyah Staten. She is a senior at the New London Science and Technology Magnet High School. Her sponsor is Mr. Hosey Washington and family in honor of Mrs. Estelle Washington and with the Martin Luther King Scholarship Trust Fund. The presenter tonight will be Bishop Benjamin Watts, and we will be accompanied by Mrs. Ritchie, Superintendent of Schools, and Mrs. Laurel Texador, who is the Principal Director of the Science and Technology, and also of, I think she's also acting principal of New London High School at this point. Let's see how we met with Aaliyah and surprised her.
Hi, I'm Aaliyah Staten, and I just received the MLK scholarship. When I found out I had gotten the scholarship, I was ecstatic. What I like about school is that I get to learn new things every day. Well, I was gonna go to school it was just financially, I was having trouble because only certain colleges have pre-law, so it was just a matter of finding help. My favorite Dr. King quote is, "We know through painful experience that freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed." If Dr. King was alive today, I think he would definitely fight against everything that's happening, especially with the immigration laws and school systems and what's happening in the schools right now. I'd like to thank my family mainly, and I would also like to thank my teachers and my guidance counselor and the community members that have helped me. Dream big and always fight for what you want. Even if people don't believe in you, you have to still fight for it.
It's my honor to stand on behalf of the Washington family, in particular Mr. Hosey Washington and his family, in honor of, offers this scholarship in honor of Estelle Washington. Mr. Washington is a wonderful gentleman and a great human being. Sitting over there at his table with him is his cousin who drove over 5 or 6 hours to be here to sit by his side tonight, Miss Crystal Owens. I saw Keith and Laurie and Lois and many friends and relatives who were by his side. He gives this scholarship in memorial in honor of the women who inspired him. His Aunt Willie Green, Grandma Hudson, and his beloved wife, Estelle Babe Washington. Their collective gifts of life and service should be a reminder to tonight's recipients to not only receive, but in turn to give back. In the post-Depression era, these women, in one way or another, cared for and nurtured him. Mr. Washington is a retired senior master chief, having served in the United States Navy for over 22 years, and additionally nearly 23 years at Soup Chip General Dynamic. He is proud. He is proud to join with the Martin Luther King Scholarship Fund in honoring such a wonderful, lovely, dynamic woman, Aaliyah Staten, today, who is the daughter of Juliet Parker, who is from the New London Science, Technology, and Magnet High School. She is excellent in math. She's a part of Homeland Security. She's a part of AP Government and Arabic Awards. Aaliyah volunteers and gives her time, her talent, and her service to her community. And Aaliyah is looking at attending one of America's finest HBCUs, North Carolina A&T, or one like it. I am excited, and please help me honor Aaliyah Staten.
A mother, a daughter, a sister. That was my aunt. A baby, a daughter, a granddaughter. That was my cousin. When I was 2, my aunt and my baby cousin were murdered by someone once loved. I was too young to remember and only know of the stories, the warnings that came later. Domestic violence isn't a game. It is a disease that plagues my life through generations, causing you to be scared to fall in love. I never knew that when losing a loved one, you feel guilty. You feel as if you need to fill this void. But with this knowledge, I know what I want to do in my life. And that is to fight domestic violence. Like Dr. King said, freedom must be demanded. 8th graders, stay focused.
Though it may seem hard, stay set on your dream, because a dream is nothing without hard work. This will propel you. I want to thank the Washington family and the Dr. Martin Luther King Scholarship Trust Fund in helping me to achieve my dream in becoming a lawyer. Mom, Nana, please rise. Nana, I want to thank you for helping to raise me, for having argument battles with me, neither of us wanting to be wrong, and for believing in me. Mom, I want to thank you for being my best friend and still a parent, because even when my friends come and go, I know that I can always count on you and I will never be alone. Because of both of you, I am a Dr. Martin Luther King Scholar. I love you both.
Nine years ago, the Board of Trustees, recognizing the heavy emphasis upon science, technology, engineering, and mathematics in southeastern Connecticut, agreed to focus upon providing a scholarship for a student entering a STEM area of study. The board decided that we would offer the STEM scholarship only after accumulating the total scholarship amount. I'm very pleased to say that as a result of Pfizer's support and Dr. Chudy Ndauaka's passion and commitment to mentoring and educating students, our 11th STEM scholarship tonight is awarded to Krishna Patel, a senior at NFA. Here to introduce Krishna is Dr. Ndauaka, dermatology leader for Pfizer's medical affairs, and I think Mr. Bert Bruce, vice president for Pfizer's, is accompanying him tonight, representing the corporation. While we are waiting for them to come up front, let's take a look at Krishna's and how we met with her.
Hi, my name is Krishna and I just received the Martin Luther King Scholarship. My name is Krishna Patel and I go to NFA. When I won this award, I was thrilled. It was probably the best day of my life. My favorite Dr. King quote is, "The time is always right to do what is right." Why? Because it doesn't matter how old you are or who you are, where you're from. You have a time, everyone has their own time, and what you do in that time is what really matters. I'd like to thank my parents for always supporting me no matter what. I'd like to thank my grandparents especially for waking up early in the mornings with me and getting everything ready for me at school, and my sister too for always supporting me and being my best friend. Whenever I need her, she's always there. I can always count on her. If Dr. King was alive today, I think he would still continue to battle the racism in society. I think there is a level of racism that still exists today in various forms, and he would be at the top level trying to fix it. The teachings of Dr. King have taught me to always keep going, moving forward. Whenever I face a struggle, I look to Dr. King and his teachings, and he teaches me to continue, no matter the struggle or the obstacle. This scholarship will help me achieve my goal of becoming a physician because I really feel like I can help others with it. The central theme of Dr. King's teachings was to help others, and he always found a way to do that, and I think that I can as well.
very good evening to you all. This is obviously one of my most favorite events, and I'm always glad to come back home. This is home for me. I kind of looked at the booklet first to find out how many scholarships the Kitchings family was going to award today. So, not that I'm counting, but we're going to be awarding 4 scholarships from Pfizer today. So we have Pfizer colleagues on table 24 and 25. Yeah. And I certainly would want to introduce Krishna Patel to you. She's such a dynamic young lady. She and her parents are here also, and she is a member of 3 honor societies and a recipient of a University Alumni Book Award. She does a lot of volunteering at the library, at the nursing home, at New Haven Hospital, and she wants to go to either Quinnipiac University or UConn, which is great. And as you heard, she wants to be a doctor. So yes, we are hiring at Pfizer. So ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you Krishna Patel.
On my first day of kindergarten, I walked in with my thick curly hair and this little red dot on my forehead. In my language, this is called a chanlo. But that night, I went home and I wiped the little red dot off my forehead. I wiped away a part of my culture. I wiped away a part of my heritage. I wiped away a part of me. So when I had forgotten to wear my chanlo the next day, my teacher called me over. "You're missing something," she said. She fished for something in her purse and pulled out a huge red sticker, way too big a size for my 5-year-old face, and stuck it in its rightful spot. She did not ask any questions. She knew, more than me in that moment, that my chanlo was my identity. 8th graders, find, embrace, and always hold on to what makes you special. But you don't need to hear it from me. Find your chanlo and hear it from yourself. I want to thank my sponsor, Pfizer, for having faith in me and opening up the path for me to become a doctor. You have given me the privilege of being a doctor, Martin, Luther, King, scholar. Mom, Dad, and thee, please rise. Thee, you are my strength. You taught me how to look in the mirror and put my chanlo back on. Mom and Dad, none of this would have been possible if you had not done the impossible. You moved to a foreign country with nothing, but gave us everything. I love you.
Our next scholar is Laika Bertrand. The sponsor for this scholarship is Pfizer's. The presenter is Dr. Ndauaka and Mr. Bruce, and they will be accompanied by, again, Dr. Klein and Mr. Butler, so they don't have to go anywhere. We're trying to get you out of here. That's the plan. Let's introduce you to Laika. I think we met her in the office. But let's take a look.
I am Laika Bertrand, and I just received the MLK scholarship. My name is Laika Bertrand, and I go to Norwich Free Academy. When I won the MLK scholarship, I was really happy. My heart just burst into a million butterflies. I just was filled with so many emotions. I didn't know how to feel. I just started crying, but it was the best moment of my life, and I really felt like all of the pieces of the puzzle were finally coming together. I would like to thank God first and foremost, because He has done so much for me, and He's never given up on me, even in times where I wanted to give up on myself. I would like to thank my sister, because she is my biggest supporter, my #1 fan. Even though she always gets on my nerves, she's always right by my side in everything. I'd like to give a big thanks to my mom, because she's always valued education and what it'll do for my future, and she's the reason why I value education so much and everything that we've been through. And she's just a strong person, sometimes too stubborn, but I love her so much, and she's always done everything for me, and I don't know where I'd be without her. I'd like to thank my dad as well. Even though life has been crazy for us as a family, I feel like he's always pushed me to always do more, do better. It's never enough. You can always do something else. I want to thank family and friends who are always there for me, who always supported me. Sienna, Loriana, all of them, they've always pushed me, encouraged me, gave me advice, supported me, cried when I cried, laughed when I laughed, you know. And there's so many other people that I'd love to thank and really appreciate. I love NFA because of this many opportunities it has. If I didn't go to NFA, I don't think I would have found the career path that I have now. Like, I want to be a civil engineer, and I wouldn't have thought that ever before NFA, because I don't see any other schools that offer classes like architecture classes that I take now.
Well, good evening, everyone. I said good evening, everyone. Oh, that's much better. Is this not one of the most fantastic nights of the year? Is it? There are very few of us that get to come up and stand behind the microphone, but I think we speak for so many, where this is one of the first events that I circle on the calendar every year to try to be able to be here, to be inspired and humbled and blessed. I don't know, but every time one of these scholars looks at their parents and their support system and says, please rise, like the tears just come down. What an honor it must be for those parents to have their children they've raised look at that. I just, it's gonna happen in a minute. I'm gonna turn away. I'm gonna turn away when it happens, but I love it. Laika Bertrand, the next voice that you hear after mine. What a phenomenal young woman. Daughter of Leo Bertrand and Linda Rimple, is a senior at Norwich Free Academy, as you've seen. At school, Laika is a member of the National Honor Society, secretary of the Pathfinder, and secretary-treasurer of the Adventure Clubs. She's also a project outreach coordinator, and I love this part. She is on the debate club, where she has been named most valuable debater. Which means, given her video, you know what kind of debater Linda Rimple must be. Because I'm sure Laika don't win all those debates. Taking gold in written and performance poetry, Laika is also NFA's Poet Laureate in 2019. In the community, Laika is secretary of the NAACP Youth Council. She's active in Reading Buddies, the Rehab Center Committee, the Mentor and the Tutor Program, and Laika schools of choice include UConn, Howard University, HU, that's doing, And Morehouse College, where she intends to study, she said, structural engineering. So please join me, ladies and gentlemen, in welcoming Laika Bertrand.
A black 2007 Mercedes-Benz 350 was my home. My house, gone. My father, gone. My happiness, gone. All I had was my mother, my sister, a pillow, and a comforter. Life took everything from me, but not my intelligence, not my education, and not my drive for success. That's what I tattooed onto my soul and engraved into my heart as I laid my head in the trunk of that black 2007 Mercedes-Benz 350. Dr. King once said, "Only in the darkness can you see the stars." 8th graders, you are the star. Use the darkness life puts you in and create a spark, a fire, a blaze. Ignite this earth with your knowledge. Matthew 5, verse 14. You are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. I want to thank God first and foremost for seeing the light in me when I couldn't even see it in myself. I want to thank my sponsor, Pfizer, for helping me be the city on a hill no one will keep hidden. I will continue my education in civil engineering, where I will build energy efficient homes and give back to my people. Mommy, Dad, Didin, please rise. Didin, thank you for sticking by my side through every fight, every laugh, every cry. Dad, even through hardships and broken relationships and broken trusts, here we are with a beautiful bond that I will never let go of. Mommy, I love you so much, and you pushed me all the way here, and we made it. We finally made it.
The next scholarship is presented tonight is in honor and in memory of Shelby Olson, a 2017 MLK Scholar and a 2018 graduate of Ledyard High School. Shelby completed a very successful year as an honor roll student, an honor roll A student last year at her mother's alma mater, Emmanuel College in Boston. She was taken from us in a fatal automobile accident this past spring. She was intelligent, articulate, and animated. Shelby described herself as meeting the rain clouds with courage and passion. She truly loved this organization and the fact that she achieved her goal of becoming a Dr. Martin Luther King Scholar. In recognition of what she loved, her family asked that instead of flowers, contributions be made to the Martin Luther King Scholarship Trust Fund in honor of Shelby. Contributions started last spring, and contributions are still coming in to the trust fund. As a result of the family's and community generosity, the trust fund is able to present this scholarship tonight. Part of Shelby's legacy today is the positive impact she is having on the life of another young person pursuing a dream through higher education. We thank Shelby's family and friends who are with us here tonight to witness this recognition in her honor and memory. The family of Shelby Olson, they're with us here tonight. Our next scholar is Taleah Winston. She is a senior at Ledyard High School. She is our 13th STEM scholar. This scholarship is sponsored by Shelby, Colette Olson, Isabella Olson family and friends, and the Dr. Martin Luther King Scholarship Trust Fund. The presenter will be Rachelle Aekins. She is an MLK scholar, and she is also on the Martin Luther King Scholarship Trust Fund Board, accompanied by Superintendent Jay Hartling, Principal Amanda Fagan, who is the aunt of Shelby Olson. While we are coming up, let's introduce you to our seventh scholar, Taleah Winston.
My name is Taleah Winston. I just received the Martin Luther King Scholarship. My name is Taleah Winston, and I am from Ledyard High School. I felt absolutely amazing when they came into my classroom. I was super tired, and it was early in the morning, and I was sitting there, and I continued to do my work, and then I heard Martin Luther King, and I turned around, and I was ecstatic. It was absolutely amazing. This scholarship will help me achieve my goals. I want to be an anesthesiologist, and that requires a lot of school, which is going to be a lot of money, so I'm very thankful that I am getting this money. But not only has it taught me reading and having to write the essay, like certain things that he has done in the works that he has created have allowed me to realize like everything that he was truly for, like nonviolent protests and fighting, and it really will make me never be silent. It will make me speak out, and that's just with anything. If I think anything's ever wrong in my job, I will always feel right to speak out due to the teachings of him and what he did. I would like to thank my mom above all because she has never given up on me. She has always had my back. I'd also like to thank my grandfather because he was there when my dad wasn't, and I can't thank him enough. The teachings of Dr. King have influenced my life because he was always so focused on making everybody else's life better, not only his own. And that has really impacted me because when someone needs help, now I want to help them. I want to show them what they can do to improve themselves, not only myself, but themselves as well. And it's just made me an overall better person.
Good evening, everyone. I get the special privilege every year of helping the students create their scholarships. So I get to personally know every single scholar every year. And I will honestly say it's an honor every single year to get to know every student. They're all very special in their own way. This year, I have the privilege of introducing Taleah Winston. She is a daughter of Herman Winston III and Tracy Grimm. She's a senior at Ledyard High School. At school, Taleah is a member of the National Honor Society. She's also a member of the Key Club and More Than Words. She serves as the editor of the yearbook and the school newspaper. She's also the president of Class Act Athletics Council. In addition, Taleah is also a member of the basketball team, the volleyball team, and outdoor track team. In the community, Taleah volunteers to coach at youth basketball and volleyball camps. And she has hosted community activities that include the Haunted Trail and coffee houses. Taleah's school of choices are the University of North Carolina and UConn, where she attends to study anesthesiology. I am privileged to introduce Taleah Winston, and she is funded by the family and friends of Shelby Olson and the Dr. Martin Luther King Scholarship Trust Fund.
One parent, 2 incarcerations, 5 moves. Many nights watching my mother cry. Many nights of my brother and I crying. A policeman coming into a house expecting a 7-year-old girl to prosecute her own father for hitting her mother. My dad, my best friend, my everything, was in jail. When I told people this, what I thought was such a normal lifestyle was far from that. And people would tell me things like, well, what did you expect? Your father's black. He's not supposed to be there. They were wrong. 8th graders, never let someone else dictate your future or make you believe that you are weak. Take your hardships and let them make you stronger and wiser. I would like to thank the friends and family of Shelby Olson and the Martin Luther King Trust Fund for continuing Shelby's legacy through me. A legacy in which I will go on to study to become an anesthesiologist. Mommy, please rise. One parent, 2 incarcerations, 5 moves. Throughout the past year, our family has gone through a tough time. You have become weak at times. You have had the thoughts of failure. I say thoughts because that is exactly what they are. You have always put your needs above mine. I mean my needs above yours. You have always put my needs above yours. Thank you for being both my mother and my father. I love you, Mommy.
Our next scholar this evening is Ashley Selden, a senior at Montville High School. This scholarship is sponsored by the For Good Fund. It will be presented by Donetta Hodge, a trustee from the trust fund, and we will be accompanied by Superintendent Laurel Palin of Montville. While they're coming up, let's introduce you to Ashley.
I'm Ashley Selden, and I just received the Dr. Martin Luther King Scholarship.
I'm Ashley Selden, and I go to Montville High School. When I found out I received the scholarship, I was ecstatic. It was something I've dreamed of since I attended the 8th grade dinner. Martin Luther King has influenced me because no matter how many times people hated him or just showed hatred, he always was able to extend the olive branch and show love and always compassionate. My favorite Martin Luther King quote is, "Nothing in all the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity," because the same groups of people that applied to back then still apply in 2019.
there are still people who are racist and xenophobic, and because of that, violence is able to persist when it shouldn't.
Good evening. The benefactor of our next award regrets that she's unable to be with us this evening. Ashley Selden. She's the daughter of John and Audra Selden and a senior at Montville High School. At school, Ashley is a member of the Spanish and National Honor Societies and serves as secretary for the class of 2020. She's also president of the Student Government and Student Representative to the Board of Education and head editor of the school newspaper. She is a recipient of a New York Times summer internship and the principal and Connecticut Association of Boards of Education Leadership Awards. Ashley participates in indoor and outdoor track and is the manager of the varsity football team. In this community, Ashley has volunteered for Read Across America and the Chris Murphy Fellowship, Fight Back Connecticut. Ashley's schools of choice include Brown, Boston, and Fordham universities, where she intends to become an English teacher. The trustees of the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Scholarship Fund would like to thank the For Good Fund for making this award possible.
I wonder if that girl would have called me her slave if I hadn't been the only Black girl at the table. I wonder if that cop would have shot Trayvon Martin if he had ever known a Black teacher. I wonder if Donald Trump would tyrannize asylum seekers if he had ever known a Hispanic teacher. I wonder if any of you have ever felt like me. And just like Dr. King, I have a dream. In mine, I see diverse classrooms, diverse teachers, diverse administrators. I see Black power. In those moments when I had to stand alone, writing was my weapon. 8th graders, arm yourself with your words. Your voices have power. I would like to thank my sponsor, the For Good Fund, for believing in my dream of becoming a high school English teacher, where I will make all children, especially those of color, find power in their writing and words. Mom and Dad, will you please rise? Thank you both for the sacrifices you have made to ensure that my siblings and I get to experience things you were both deprived of. Mom, thank you for modeling a strong and intelligent woman that I hope to embody. Dad, thank you for believing in my success and always making me laugh. I love you both.
Our next scholarship goes to Erin Williams at Norwich Free Academy, a senior. This is our 14th STEM scholarship. It is sponsored by Pfizer's Incorporated, and the presenters are Dr. Ndauaka and Mr. Bert Bruce. We'll be accompanied again by David Klein, Superintendent, and Mr. Leo Butler. Let's look at Erin Williams.
Hi, I'm Erin Williams, and I just received the Martin Luther King Scholarship. When I found out I won the scholarship, I felt excited. I'm not really good at expressing excitement, but but it was a warming feeling to know that I won. I'm kind of a nerd. I love school, so I always get mad if I have to miss a day of school. I just like the environment. I love learning new things and taking classes that will challenge me but better me in the future. My scholarship will help me achieve my future goal of being a pediatrician because there's a lot of schooling involved with wanting to become a doctor. So, my favorite Dr. Martin Luther King quote is, "Faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the staircase," because it shows that, it's saying that even when you don't know what the future holds, you'll still be willing to take the next step and move up to the next level because you have trust. I see it as religious for God. I have trust in God that He'll take me to the next level, even though I can't see what's in the future. I would like to thank my mom for getting me this far, for her constant support. She's always the one that will push me past what I even think I can accomplish, and she's just always there for me when I need it. And even when I think I can't accomplish something, she's telling me that I can do it. Sister and my dad for helping me get to this point, for their constant support. The teachings of Dr. King have influenced my life because I learned to be more confident in who I am, and I learned that there's nothing wrong with who I am and how I've grown up, so I've learned to embrace me as me.
Jim, I just had an idea. How about we just take our checkbooks out and create a 14th scholarship here? Everybody will just call it Friends of MLK or something. So very good idea, right? So the envelopes are on your tables, by the way. I'd like to introduce Erin Williams to you. Wonderful lady. We met her today earlier this evening. She's a member of 3 honor societies and very active in volunteering for various initiatives. She is also an athlete, plays basketball, and has volunteered volunteering in the Norwich Arts Festival, a learning program and a reading program. She has some schools that she'd like to attend: King's College, Delaware State University, and UConn. And as you heard, she wants to be a doctor. And yes, we are hiring a Pfizer. So I would love to bring up Erin Williams.
I grew up in a household with 2 loving parents who struggled to love each other. Their divorce encouraged me to reach out to my faith. I was always taught that God will not allow you to go through anything He didn't believe you can't handle. So rather than holding on to the pain of the past, I sought out faith for my future. Hebrews 11:1. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. I can say to the 8th graders, never allow your negative surroundings to affect your success. You and only you have the power to alter your future. Accept what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what can be. I would like to thank my sponsor, Pfizer, for allowing me to become a Dr. Martin Luther King Scholar. And for empowering me on my path to becoming a pediatrician. I plan to aid the youth
just as you've helped me prepare for my future. Mom, Dad, and Darian, please rise. Dad, thank you for teaching me to seek out my faith during challenging times. Darian, thank you for riding this roller coaster of life with me and holding my hand through all the ups and the downs. Mom, through your wisdom, I've learned how to be resilient, seeking the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. I love you.
Okay. Must mean you're on. You're still here. Okay. Our next scholar is Sarah Beth Bouchard. She is a senior at the New London Science and Technology High School. This is our 15th STEM Award scholarship. The sponsor of this scholarship is Pfizer's. The presenters are on stage. You've heard them, Dr. Chudy Ndauaka and Mr. Bert Bruce, who will be accompanied by the superintendent, Mrs. Ritchie. While they are coming up, let's look at Sarah Beth and how we met with her.
Hi, my name is Sarah Beth Bouchard, and I just received the Martin Luther King Scholarship. My name is Sarah Beth Bouchard, and I go to Science and Tech in New London. When I found out I got the Martin Luther King Scholarship, I felt honored and excited. It was one of the first steps into going to college, and it's going to not only be a strong platform for me to step on, but actually push me off to be able to afford college and go to pursue my dreams. Dr. Martin Luther King showed me how to be proud of my culture. Going through to a mostly African American and Hispanic school, I felt really different because I identified as Hispanic, but many people didn't see me as that. Trying to be proud of my culture and environment where people simply regarded me as just white was really difficult because I felt like I could not be Hispanic. I would like to thank my mother for telling me not to be ashamed of my culture, for teaching me how to be bilingual and to teach me how to do these dances. I do a chacarera. I did a tango the other day at Ocean Beach on the Latin American night. I want to thank her so much for bringing this culture into my life and making it a part of me. I'm forever thank you. Gracias. Gracias, Mami. I'm forever thankful for these opportunities that you have given me, for what you have sacrificed. My favorite Dr. Martin Luther King quote is, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." I took this personally in my life. If I was quiet and didn't tell everyone that I was Hispanic and just listened to the gringa, to the teasing, and never really took the steps to be proud of my culture, it would have happened to so many more people. I took one of my best friends, a man from Spain. He almost shut out his culture completely. He doesn't like speaking Spanish at all. I took him and we did a paso doble at a multicultural dance. I love doing multicultural dances, dances that my ancestors from Argentina did. So with that, we performed that at my school, and we showed a lot of people that we are proud of our culture, and even though we don't look like the people at school, that we can still be Hispanic and still be proud.
Fantastic. We'll hear from Sarah Beth in a little bit. We'll talk a little bit about dancing. How many people wish they could dance? Just, right? Yeah. The rest of y'all lying. You lying. line, y'all wish you could dance. You heard her say that. One of the really neat things for me about tonight is, the ability to hear from these young leaders and hear the content of their character. That was part of Dr. King's dream, is that his children will be judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. But you can't know that until you know somebody, and you have to take the time to be able to get to know them. Over the past several years, we've been really blessed to be part of this equation that MLK has put forward. And we've also started to ask ourselves, how could we get to know our scholars a little bit better? So one of the things I'm very pleased to be able to share on behalf of Doug Lankler, who was here last year, was not able to be here this year, is that we are going to be extending summer internships to all of our MLK sponsors for their junior and senior years.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You don't get one.
That's right.
That's
But I know a lot of students who can use one.
Well, the reality of it today, for those who can do giving students internships and pragmatic work opportunity. I was looking at the Where Are They Now? It's a tremendous gift and it's a tremendous opportunity. So we're pleased to be able to do that. We look forward to being able to do it going forward. And you don't have to be on stage to be able to announce it. If you can do it or find someone who can, you can make a tremendous difference in the lives of these students. And let's talk about Sarah Beth Bouchard. Daughter of Robert and Claudia Bouchard, she's a senior. You heard the New London Science and Technology Magnets High School. At school, with a straight A average every year, again, something I am not nearly familiar with, Sarah is a member of the National Honor Society. She was a finalist in the Connecticut Science and Engineering Fair and is a Genius Olympiad bronze medalist. Yes. In addition, Sarah participates in student government, is a member of the sailing, swim, and multicultural clubs, and is a dance performer at a Project O and NLCB sailing instructor. In the community, Sarah volunteers at ARC and Camp Harkness, working with children with disabilities. Sarah's schools of choice include Brown, Yale, and UConn, where she intends to study to become an immunologist. So I'm actually pleased because Dr. Ndauaka is an immunologist, and I got to present this, and he had to let me do it. So ladies and gentlemen, join me in please welcoming Sarah Beth Bouchard.
Hi, everyone. Tonight, I am in costume because I want to tell a story. 8th graders, listen to my story. It's an allegory. I hope you can find yourselves in it. I am of my ancestors. I dance to keep my culture alive. My favorite dance is the chacarera. In it, my mom and I dance apart, but in symmetry. We are bound by blood, having the same paces throughout the song. During one part, though, we go our separate ways. My mother always tells me to stop being sassy during this part. I'm supposed to be proud and light and respected. I choose to be a little bit more dramatic. Towards the end of the song, my mother and I turn our backs on each other. I always smirk when I do this, call it teenage rebellion. 8th graders, do you ever do this? The song ends with us spinning and coming back to one another. I look admirably into my mother's eyes. I come back to my ancestors. I dance to keep my culture alive. 8th graders, an allegory is a metaphor told as a story. Did you find yourselves in mine? I would like to thank Pfizer for making me an MLK scholar and for funding my aspirations to become a microbiologist. Mom, Dad, please rise.
Dad, thank you for teaching me life lessons. And Mom, gracias por ayudarme a ser orgullosa de mi cultura. I love you both.
Our next scholar tonight is Alexander Dufort, a senior at Norwich Free Academy. His scholarship is presented by the Kitchings Family Foundation. The presenter is Mr. Ken Kitchings. He will be accompanied by Superintendent Klein and Mr. Butler, the diversity officer. While they're coming up, let's introduce you to Alexander.
I'm Ellen. And I'm Alex Dufort. And we are Martin Luther King Scholars.
My name is Alexander Dufort, and I go to Norwich Free Academy. When I first found out I won the Martin Luther King Scholarship, I was just ecstatic. I couldn't believe it. My heart was pounding, and I just had such joy and pride. It was amazing. This scholarship will help me achieve my goals by making college affordable, and with my college education, I'll be able to become a public defender and hopefully one day a Supreme Court judge. My favorite Dr. King quote is, "In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends." And it's my favorite quote because it makes me realize that in life, it's easy to stay silent, but when you stay silent, atrocities happen. That's when you hear in the history books, when you see the Holocaust or the Rwandan genocide. All this stuff happened because people were silent. So in my own life, if I stay silent, bad things will happen, and I'll only blame it myself. I would like to thank first and foremost my parents. They've always been an inspiration for me. They've always taught me, not only through their words, but through their actions, that you can't give up, that you have to continue going on. And they've taught me that hard work does pay off. I would also like to thank my brother Junior, because he's been like a mentor towards me, not only through this process of getting the scholarship, but in life in general. So, Dr. King has influenced my life by making me realize that in life, things take hard work and dedication. I just think of all the marches he did and all the time he's spoken out, and I just think that it took a lot of effort to do that, and it took a lot of perseverance to do that, especially as he was getting hate for it. And it made me realize in my own life that even when things are difficult, I can't just stay quiet. I can't just give up when it gets hard. I have to continue on and do what's right.
Wow. I sat at a table and my IQ went up around 30. Just went up. 2 scholars tonight, 1 past scholar, all of the same family. This family is unbelievable. Alexander Dufort, son of Lamar and Diana Dufort, is a senior at Norwich Free Academy. At school, the highest honor roll with a straight 8 average in every year. Just like, didn't his brother say that? Yeah. We're gonna check, can we check those numbers? Is that all good? I believe it. Alex is a member of the National Science Honor Society, ACT and SO, and the debate in math teams where he has been named MVP. Alex is co-treasurer of the class of 2020 and serves as student government. In the community, he participates in the NAACP Youth Council, in reading buddies, and in judging middle school science fairs. And the most amazing thing about the family, in the summer of 2019, Alex and his family traveled to Haiti to provide health service to the poor. It's what a family. This family is. School of choice: Columbia, North Carolina, A&T, UConn. Where he intends to be study to become, we need this. Boy, do we need this. A good public defender in preparation for a judgeship. Man, I am so honored. Put your hands together. Alexander Dufort.
A black speck among a vast white ocean. Me and my higher level classes. A nomad, never belonging anywhere. I allowed other people to dictate who I am. I determined who I am when I went on a mission trip to Haiti. The most significant experience I had was with a little baby. He was covered head to toe in bloody blisters. I translated for his mother, and somehow he survived. At that moment, a light ignited in my head. I realized I made a difference in that baby's life through my diversity. I realized I cannot and will not allow other people to define me. Eighth graders, embrace what makes you unique. Do not let anyone else tell you who you are. I want to thank the Kitchings Family Foundation for fueling my dream to fight for criminal justice. With this scholarship, I will guarantee that the color of your skin will not determine your verdict. Mom, Dad, please rise. Thank you for giving up everything. Your home, your language, your life, to make sure our family could have a better life. Thank you for teaching me to persevere in the face of struggle. I love you.
Our next scholarship tonight goes to Melissa Mancuso. She is a senior at Fitch Senior High School. The sponsor is the Lawrence and Memorial Hospital. The presenter will be Mr. Patrick Green, President, CEO of L&M Hospital and Wesley Hospital, and Vice President with Yale, accompanied by Dr. Guinier, Superintendent of Schools. While they're coming up, let's take a look and introduce you to Melissa.
I just won the Martin Luther King Scholarship.
My name is Melissa Mancuso and I go to Fitch High School. I had no words, literally. When I saw the committee walk into the room, I was thinking, who else in this classroom could have won it? And then I was like, they just said my name. I was amazed and so thankful and, burst out into tears. He made me want to be the type of person that is never scared to stand up for themselves or others and always want to bring everybody together and just be confident in myself. I would like to thank my parents for always believing in me and making me realize that
I have so much more potential than I thought I did, and always pushing me to be my best. I'd like to thank my teachers for always understanding and helping me throughout my rough times in school and not in school. And I'd like to thank my friends for also believing in me more than I believed in myself. The scholarship will help me achieve my goal because it will open up so many more opportunities for me. And it's not just the money. Being named a Martin Luther King Scholar is such a huge accomplishment for me, and it means so much because it's like I represent Martin Luther King.
Aren't these young people impressive? Give it up one more time. Melissa Mancuso, the daughter of James and Jessica Mancuso. She's a senior at Fitch High School, and at school, Melissa earning an academic letter in Chevron and maintaining the highest honors every quarter. She's a member of the National Honor Society and is enrolled in honors AP and UConn ECE courses, and has been presented the St. Michael's Book Award for academic achievement and social conscience. In addition, Melissa participates in student council, More Than Words, and indoor and outdoor track. In the community, Melissa volunteers at the YMCA summer camp in tutoring students outside of school, and in martial art classes where she holds a black belt. Now we know martial arts requires mental and physical discipline. So her academic successes shouldn't be any surprise. And trust me, she's a tough cookie. Melissa's schools of choice include Yale, Harvard, and Johns Hopkins, where she intends to become a neurosurgeon. Yes. Now, working in the healthcare field, I know that becoming a woman neurosurgeon is difficult. So a couple of stats. Women account for 46 to 60% of all medical graduate students in the US, but only 5% are board certified neurosurgeons. And Melissa, I know you are going to break the barrier, and we're so looking forward to you coming back to this community and being a neurosurgeon for Yale New Haven Health.
I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. I couldn't breathe. I was paralyzed, trapped in my own body. I thought that I was going to die. As I was barely there, barely conscious, my mind started to fill with memories of my father. Earlier that year, he had a heart attack. I thought that the same thing might be happening to me. My father survived, but would I? Everything happens for a reason. God was guiding me down a path of giving. In my moments of helplessness, I realized that I want to help others and make a difference in their lives. 8th graders. These events were a burden to my academics. I fell behind. I wasn't my usual strong self. But I pulled myself together and I got back on track. Your experiences, setbacks, and hardships don't make you any less of a person. They make you who you are. You can choose to let them tear you down, or you can choose to let them build you up like I did. I want to thank Lawrence Memorial Hospital for
investing in my future, and making my dream of becoming a neurosurgeon turn into a reality. Because of you, I will be Dr. Mancuso. Mom and Dad, please rise. Daddy, I'm so grateful that you're here with me today. God tested the both of us this year, and He brought us out alive. Thank you for always picking me up when I fall down and being my shoulder to cry on. Mommy, you're my idol. You're everything that a mother can possibly be. You taught me how to be strong, just like you, and you always pushed me to my fullest potential. You both believed in me more than I ever believed in myself. I love you both, and I couldn't be who I am today, a Dr. Martin Luther King Scholar, without you.
Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, our next scholarship and Martin Luther King Scholar is Mr. Ajay Brown of the Marine Science Magnet High School. He is the 16th STEM Scholar. He is sponsored by the Kitchings Family Foundation, and the presenter is Mr. Ken Kitchings. We will have accompanied by Mrs. Kate Erickson, Director of Learn, and Mr. Nick Spira, Principal of Marine Science Magnet High School. While they're coming up, let's take a look and see what happened with this young man.
I'm Ajay Brown, and I just received the Martin Luther King Scholarship. My name is Ajay Brown, and I go to the Marine Science Magnet High School in Groton, Connecticut. When I found out I won the scholarship, I was really kind of overwhelmed, to be honest with you, because prior to that, my principal had came into my class and pulled me out of class and made me think I was in trouble or something. So to get into the office and see the selection committee there, it was kind of just like a roller coaster of emotions going on. But I was very excited when I found out I got it. I'd like to thank really anyone who's helped me get to this point. My teachers, friends, family. I'd like to give a big thank you to my mother. She's been there through thick and thin. We've had our ups and downs, but she's always been there. She never quit on me, and for that I'm beyond grateful. And then we like to talk about, we like to say, so we have a very big friend group, like a very big extended family. We like to call it our village. They're not necessarily our family, but we like to say they're our family. So we call it our village. So I'd like to give a big thank you to our village, which is really just a lot of my mom's friends who have been there to get me to and from stuff, give me whatever I need, give me a place to stay sometimes. They've played a huge role in all my successes. Something that I really look up to in Dr. King and that I really liked about him was that how no matter what, the cards were stacked against him, but he never quit. I've never been one to make excuses or stop trying whenever things get hard, and I really respect that, and it's a very good example for me to look up to. My favorite Dr. King quote is a quote from a letter from a Birmingham jail where he said, "Change never rolls in on the wheels of inevitability." I really like that quote because I'm a firm believer that if you want things to change, then you have to go out and do something about it. Nothing's going to come easily to you. So whatever you want, you got to go get it.
Whew. I just want to put a shout out to every teacher that's in the room here tonight. Thank you. Thank you. Jaya Brown, I met him at the conference, you know, when you go and you meet people. And he came right up to me like a ball of fire, man. And his spirit, his fortitude with this man, just give him some room and let him go where he needs to go. Ajia Brown, son of Elizabeth and Anthony Brown, is a senior at Marine Science Magnet School. At school, Ajia excels in honors, AP, UConn, ECE courses. Ajia holds the Eastman Young Leaders and Principals Advisory Committee's awards. In addition, Ajia serves as student body and class president and is on the Principal's Executive Council. Boy, that must be some interesting conversations. Ajia is captain, listen to this, captain of the Fitch High School varsity basketball, cross country, and track teams, where he is conference champion in the triple jump and the all-conference selectee. In the community, Ajia volunteers at Hoop Academy and he is a member of the Boy Scouts. Ajaya's school of choice include Harvard, Stanford, Howard, except I got a bulletin today. I got a big bulletin today. Elijah Brown has been selected as the #1 recruit to the United States Coast Guard Academy. What? Ladies and gentlemen, Elijah Brown!
I was 8, sitting on the ground in my mother's arms, covered in blood, missing my ears. 2 pit bulls had just ripped them off. After this, I doubted myself and everything I did, and I never realized what I was fully capable of. When I first met Dr. Ackerman, she told us a story about a day that changed her life. She called it her Mr. Brown story. This is my Mr. Brown story, or in my case, my Dr. Sparrow story. Sophomore year, my principal pulled me into his office to tell me about how much he and everyone around me believed in my ability to be something great, and that I just had to see it in myself. From this day forward, I transformed all those self-doubts that I had into the reason why I would never accept anything less than exemplary. And as a result, here I am, a Dr. Martin Luther King Scholar. And so, 8th graders, I leave you with this. Not advice or suggestions on how to live your life, but a challenge. A challenge to take all those self-doubts and excuses that have been holding you back and use them as motivation to go out and achieve whatever it is that you so much desire. And if you may fail, you have the courage to get up and try again. I want to thank the Kitchings Family Foundation for giving me the opportunity to pursue a career in mechanical engineering. Mom and Dad, please rise. Dad, it's been crazy growing up, but no matter what's happened, you've always showed me what it means to be a man. And I wouldn't be who I am today without you, so thank you. And Mom, you did this. 9 years ago, you threw yourself on top of me and saved my life. I wouldn't be standing here today without you. Through thick and thin, you've always been by my side. And for that, I'm forever grateful. I love you both.
Everybody.